Hey guys, it's Bree here. Welcome to another Archetype 101, where I give you a top-level overview of TCG archetypes. No strategies, no deck lists, just a quick little summary of what a deck's trying to do and the core cards within that different archetype. And today we're going to look at Red Yellow Bulma. Honestly, it's a very generic kind of archetype, and its endgame leans more so on advantage than, a pure chain or combo or boss monster. So let's just jump right into the lore, and then we can get into the cards. But do we really need to get into the lore about Bulma? So she originates from DragonBall. She's the entire reason DragonBall as a series even actually is a thing. Because without her, Goku would have never went on his adventure. Would have never met Master Roshi. Nothing in Dragon Ball happens without Bulma. So if you love the show, you have to give her praise for it. She's the most intelligent human on Earth, as the daughter of the owner of Capsule Corp, and eventually she inherits the whole company herself. Just about everything that's technologically advanced within the show is made by her company, whether it be the things she rides, the buildings, pretty much everything. She's the wife to Vegeta and the mother to Trunks and Bulla. So one of the very few humans to actually wife up a Saiyan. And she's the best waifu. I don't care what you say, but she's number one. When you consider everything about her, she's 100% the best wife. But now that that's the lore, I could say so many things about Bulma, and it'd probably take up the entire video of how much she's given to the franchise. But I think this is just at this point, you want to know more about Bulma, just watch the show. So let's just jump into what the deck is trying to do. What's the endgame? And it's hard to define the endgame because she's so generically good and there's no particular boss monster that I could be this is going to finish the game absolutely. Except for one. So right away, I'm just going to talk about the advantage that she constantly accumulates. So she has this field card, and it says, if you have a red-yellow multicolor, you can play it from your hand without paying a strange cost. So you don't have to pay 3 for it. It's basically free as long as you're running multicolor. And then if your leader's a Red Bulma, which she's the only one in the game right now, at the end of your turn, you draw 2 cards and you drop 2 cards from your hand. So right there, every single turn, you're going to get to craft your hand to look exactly how it is. Now, it's not card advantage, kind of. Whereas, sure, you're keeping the same amount of cards, it is card quality. And you are increasing that dramatically by being able to see an additional 2 cards every single turn. And then there's quite a few cards that actually want stuff to be in the drop anyways. So in reality, it's almost like components of your drop are part of your hand anyways. So in the end, you're going to get that value from your drop. So if we were going to talk about boss monster, like I said, there's one kinda, and he's not crazy by himself. And there's some other cards afterwards I'll show you that'll kind of make more sense with it. But essentially, he's got critical, energy exhaust because he is a red-yellow, and he's got offering. As I've said in previous video, offering is the new keyword where when it comes in, your opponent can choose to either take a life or allow you to draw 2. And it is a crit take a life. They don't get the card in hand. So by itself, it's not great, but the entire point of the in-archetype Saiyans and Earthlings is that you're going to get to pull him out, and then he gets extra bonuses by the way you actually end up playing him. So we'll get to see that in a little bit, but let's see the leader while we're at it. So, Bulma on the front side, she's a 5k leader, so very much in the vein of Hercule and other weaker kind of Earthlings. But she says all red and yellow Saiyans and Earthlings get blocker. So right away, that gives you a huge pool of cards to play with. And it's kind of why I'm saying that the leader's so generically good. You don't really need to look in archetype to find ways to want to play her. I've seen, Height of Mastery lists run her. I've seen just generic red-yellow aggro. Because now not only do you get to play a bunch of great red and yellow Earthlings and Saiyans, but they have the added benefit that they have blocker in a sticky situation. And that makes things like the Master Roshi negate or the Videl negate, where they negate and then they're on the field, so much better because now it's almost guaranteed that just with that one energy, you're going to be able to defend yourself twice, which is crazy. Once per turn, she draws a card, doesn't require an attack. That's always great. And then when you're at 4 life or less, you get to choose 2 of your energy, flip them to awaken, and then flip them up, and then she awakens. And then on our leader side, it's real simple. Same permanent. Red, Yellow Saiyans and Earthlings have blocker, and then once per turn, draw 2 cards. So you're going to see a lot of cards with Bulma. And I think that's the route they're starting to really go with in terms of like, hey, if we want to put like Hercule or Bulma to make up for the fact that they're 5 and 10Ks, we're going to give them extra card advantage. Instead of like with the chilled leader, let's say back in, I don't know, set 1 or 2, you're not really getting extra advantage for the fact that your leader's so weak. Yeah, you get an extra attacker, but the game's so power creep to the point where that almost doesn't even matter. So you're going to get to see a lot of cards. So what do we want to do with those cards? Well, that's where some of the staples within the strategy come in. So you have cards like this 1-drop Bulma. So when she comes in, you draw a card. Easy, you get to replace yourself because she's an Earthling. So our activate main is for 1, you get to look through your drop for a red, yellow Saiyan, any cost of 1, play it with its skills negated. And if you did that, you burst yourself for 2. So now we're filling up our drop, but you can see that we want our drop filled up because we're going to be able to recur cards over and over with her. And then if you want to get rid of her, because remember, now she has blocker, and if she gets KO'd, we get to bring out this card. So Super Saiyan Vegeta Raging Frenzy has double strike, and he says, if your leader card is red, and a Bulma card on your battle area is KO'd or removed by the battle area by a skill, he comes in and you can't play another one for the duration of the turn. Essentially meaning, on your turn 2, if you play this turn 1 and your opponent attacks and you decide to block with it, you're already swinging in with a 20k double striker. Now, it's not crazy, but you have to realize that it's free value, and you're going to be seeing a ton of cards as you're going to be playing the deck, which makes it really easy for you to keep pumping out aggressive attackers, being able to refill your hand, to find more things you need, to constantly keep that engine going, which makes it a really powerful option. So besides these, there's this kind of like the Z Fighter chain. So if we look at all these Saiyans, these are all the Saiyans and like Earthling / Saiyan from the first Dragon Ball Super movie when they're all trying to make Goku into God form. So we'll take a quick look at them. Reminder that they all have blocker. Videl, she gains Saiyan in all areas. It's kind of like a cool flavor way of saying like the baby within her is a Saiyan. If your leader's a Red Bulma and you choose 1 or red, yellow Saiyan or Earthling card in your drop area, place it at the bottom of your deck. When you play her, you get to choose 1 red or yellow Saiyan with a cost of 3 or less in your drop area and put it to your hand. So now you're getting to reshuffle things in your hand that you want to see. The Goku is actually a 3-drop Saiyan, so you're going to be able to get him back into your hand. Son Gohan, activate main, burst 3, once again filling up our drop. He gets 5k in crit. Trunks, specifically, he's the new set of bullets where when you play him for the rest of the game, if your opponent tries to like untap cards on their turn, they need to send stuff from their drop to the warp. So nothing crazy in archetype, but there's a reason you're going to want all of them. Vegeta Explosive Fury, you can only have one of them on board, and only if you have a Bulma in your battle area, so that includes your leader. But he's a 1-drop 15k, just flat out. Makes it great for aggression. It's a shame you can't spam them out, but really early on, it's great to be able to push in. And one, if your opponent doesn't deal with it, will be enough starting really early to get in there. And then Son Goten rushing in, he's just a revenge. He's a revenge blocker because Bulma gives blocker to everything. And you have to notice that all of these, except for the Gohan, are all 1-drops. So Bulma, the 1-drop, is going to be able to constantly recur whichever one you want, whether you want to push on the aggression, whether you want to pump up the defense, whether you want to proc Trunks again and now make your opponent have to get rid of 10 whenever they want to untap energy. So why do we want each one of these? And that's specifically because we want to play Son Goku Path to Godhood. So it's a true drop that says activate main, send him to the drop. And you have to choose one of every single Videl, Son Gohan, Trunks, Vegeta, Son Goten. Now they don't have to be these specific ones, but in archetype, these are the ones we're going to get. And you send them back into your deck. Now you go get a multicolor 3-drop Son Goku from your deck or your hand with an energy cost of 3, and it gets double strike and dual attack. And that's the God Goku that we saw right at the beginning at the end game. So remember, he has offering, so right away you're going to be able to crit or get 2 extra draws. He has critical, and now he has double strike and dual attack. And you can get this out relatively early because remember, your field card allows you to send things to your drop. A lot of these cards have burst or will send extra cards into the drop. So very early on, you're actually going to be able to keep punching through with this red-yellow critical double strike dual attack. And you can probably do it turn after turn after turn because of how many cards you're seeing. So it really allows you to flood your opponent punch, 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 while constantly making it difficult for them to be able to keep up. Because even though you're pushing so much aggression, the way the leader works, you're going to get a very large hand regardless. And you're going to constantly have the cards you're looking for because of how much digging she does. So overall, that's like the in-archetype strategy for Red Yellow Bulma. Like I said, I think she's stronger in other shells that aren't specific to set 8. But in terms of what set 8 is giving us as cards to play with, if you want to stick to that archetype, this is the general strategy of what you're going to see. A lot of bursting, a lot of playing with your drop, and a lot of recurring with the Saiyan so that you can get in with the God Goku and have the benefit of also having that double strike Vegeta whenever you have a Bulma that you can sacrifice away. I think she's going to be great. I think she's going to be a staple red leader because of how generic she is. She can do a lot of things. It is a double-edged sword though because she is a 15k on front side and a 10k on awakened side, which means there is a balance to strike there, and she'll be a tougher leader to play for that reason because you have so many more decisions of how and when you want to take your life. That said, that's been the quick 101 on Red Yellow Bulma. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. I'll be making another one tomorrow, and we'll be publishing videos up until I think about Monday or Tuesday. I think that's when I'll have finished every single leader and giving you an insight of every single archetype. Let me know of how you want to play Bulma in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao!